Indian news ma wakɔ aba ɛsan de ba wɔn kasa fidie so bio. Na maka kyerɛ sɛ before anything else na ɔgye sɛ wɔhyɛ na ebiem nso kwa na wo subscribe to yɛn channel no. What deɛ fa political news deɛ na fa governance bɛka kyerɛ wo sɛ pan yɛn poto fam a yɛte. Na pan yɛn to fam a yɛte deɛ a ɛneɛ na nsɛm foforɔ bi nso asan asi. Benim sɛ wɔde yɛ nsɛm a ɛde bɛ nyinaa no yɛ a na ɛyɛ wɔ tɛ na ɛyɛ ahɔhɔ na ɛyɛ wɔ fɛ nso so. Nti no nsɛm foforɔ bi asi a Indian news yɛn nso so pan yɛ tɔɔ fam yi baabi yɛ ti nyinaa akyi no yɛn nsa atumi aka bi na yɛaso nso atumi ate saa nsɛm bi. Yɛntie nsɛm mmra sisi a na mpanimfoɔ mpo sɛ kakum no yɛgye no kɔkɔɔ anum. Deɛ ba before that no subscribe to yɛn channel no ɔmsa bɛka all other news a ɛfa politics wɔn de deɛ wɔpɛ sɛ wɔteɛ no ɛho. Yɛtie ba yɛbɛn baabi a susu nso pɛ so wɔde bɔɔde ho fa na deɛ asie biara no nso fa wo comment nso to aseɛ na yɛnkenkan mfama wo na yɛnhwɛ de nneɛma ɛkɔ. Yɛntie nsɛm mmra sisi a wotie no fa comment to aseɛ ba a yɛmfa nkyerɛmu no nso ntoa so. Yɛntie mmra.
If, as President Mahama said, the gold board is central to his mining policy. But it looks like it was very quick, because from the day you were named to the consultations you did to Parliament passing the Gold Board Act, it was pretty fast, possibly one of the quickest setting up of institutions and passage of laws. Talk to us about that process. Did you truncate it, or was it because of the interest? Because you did this in less than 3 months, if I'm not wrong. So talk me through that process quickly.
Well, thank you very much, Bernard. For me as a person, the call by the president and the task given us to establish the Ghana Gold Board was an urgent task, because the president made it clear right from the outset that the Gold Board was central to his economic revitalization agenda. As you may be aware, Ghana in recent time has gone through severe economic crisis that has affected the country's, traditional sources of forex earnings. And so we had to think outside the box and work with the central bank to explore local opportunities. And one of that is the Gold for Forex program of the Bank of Ghana. And we knew that through the Gold Board, we could ramp up gold purchases and exports, and for that matter, and accelerate foreign reserve accumulation to support our national currency and the economy as a whole. So we didn't sleep. We worked with various stakeholders, the media, civil society organizations, Nananom, small-scale miners across the country, the traders, and all stakeholders to develop what some have said is one of the best, laws we have as a country, the Gold Board Act 2025, Act 1140. So the speed with which the act was passed was as a result of the urgency with which we approached the work, and the fact that we allowed stakeholders to own the process. And so you realize that we didn't encounter any pushbacks from any stakeholders, because right from the get-go, they were involved in the process. They bought into the objects of the Gold Board and the necessity for same, and they supported us. Parliament also did what was expected of them. And so that is why today we have the Gold Board established.
Listening to you today, you said some pretty serious things you would do to sanitize the sector. You gave deadlines, and that by September you would do certain things. You'd want to eliminate smuggling. How did you convince all these stakeholders, some of whom may not mean well, to agree that the Gold Board was good for them?
Playing for your country, and easy.
Bernard, I think that any patriotic, Ghanaian, and any reasonable human being who has lived the disparity between our country's huge, prospect relative to our rich mineral deposits vis-a-vis our actual, reality, would agree that something had to be done. For long, we've been one of the leading producers of gold in Africa, but we struggle to get simple forex to support our currency. Why? Because the gold is produced mostly through illegal means. That is for the ASM sector. And then you have illegal unlicensed entities who are not regulated by any central government agencies, buying the gold and smuggling the chunk of the gold through Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, to Dubai, India, and so on and so forth. So that is what has been going on. The gold we are getting today didn't fall from the skies. And it's not because we've seen any significant acceleration in mining. This gold has always been here, but we've been losing this gold to smuggling. And when gold is smuggled, the forex doesn't come back. The state is deprived of the much needed revenue for development. And so all the patriotic, Ghanaians we engage and the various civil society organizations saw Gold Board as an imperative, an urgent imperative to stop this mess and ensure that we have one central agency, okay, unlike the previous situation where we had multiple state agencies buying gold with no one regulating the trading of gold and, smugglers taking advantage of that chaotic situation. We now have a central agency streamlining and structuring gold trading, licensing all players involved in the trade, and ensuring that everybody adhere to one common code of conduct on responsible sourcing, legal exports, and so on. And this ensures that we are able to get the forex associated with the gold we buy and the revenue that we desperately need for the development.
So you're sure that the fact that for the first time, small-scale mining exports have surpassed large-scale is not because of enhanced production on the small-scale side. It's just because of the harvesting of the proceeds that the Gold Board brings. Because I was going to ask a question if the latter were true or the former were true, because a lot of people say if a lot of your gold is produced by small-scale people and that trend continues, the large-scale mines have bigger investments, they pay lots of taxes, they generally adhere to better standards, traceability is much easier. And so if the trend of more of your gold coming from small scale increases, then if they are not properly regulated, you're going to have a jungle out there. So I just want you to re-emphasize the point. You're saying it's not that we have produced more small scale gold. It's just that the export proceeds have been harvested by the Gold Board, correct?
That's correct. We are just plugging the loopholes. We are intensifying the fight against smuggling. And we are mopping up the gold which is being produced by the ASM sector already, but which we're losing to, smuggling. That is what we have done. And we have succeeded in doing this because of the effective aggregation system we have deployed across the country. Because hitherto, there was no such system. And miners had to travel long distances before they could sell their gold. And if you make it difficult for miners to sell their gold, then they will give the gold to whoever gives them money, whether or not they are licensed or whether or not they are smugglers. Also, the Bank of Ghana has has increased its capital injections for its gold purchase program. And that has enhanced our capacity to be able to mop up, all gold produced by the small scale, sector. And bear in mind, we are even yet to draw down on our budget allocation of CD equivalent to $79 million. When we do that sometime this month of June, we will be in a better position to even mop up more gold for the country. Yeah.
History and other sectors teach us that smuggling responds to economic incentives, whether it's alcohol or cocoa or even gold. It's the price. So, yes, regulation is brilliant. So I think the question for the Gold Board is, what price do you offer these gold sellers? Are you going to keep doing market price? Because if I can get my gold bought by some guy somewhere else at a better price. Indeed, this morning, we had to announce that a new cocoa price will be announced in August. So clearly, the smuggling issue is an economic incentive issue. Is the Gold Board saying that going forward, you're going to offer a market price that disincentivizes smuggling, or are you just going to use police people to catch them at the borders?
Well, we're already doing that in conjunction with the Bank of Ghana. Our pricing is very fair and transparent. Every day we publish the local price of gold, and it is pegged to the world market. and it is a very fluid system. We keep updating it as and when the world market price changes significantly. One other thing that has helped is a decision by the president to scrap the 1.5% withholding tax on dowry in the 2025 budget statement read sometime in March. The scrapping of that tax has helped the fight against smuggling, because that tax, we believe, was a major incentive for smuggling. So that is one. Our fair and transparent pricing system has also helped. And more importantly, the effective aggregation networks we have in all mining regions and towns, where the gold board is now closer to the miner, has helped us to mop up all this. And, you know, no matter what you do, you need to strengthen enforcement and punishment for those who go against the law to serve as a deterrence. And that is what we have done. Those who were arrested for engaging in illegal gold purchases and smuggling before the 30th April ultimatum have been deported to their countries. But anyone arrested for engaging in illegal gold purchasing or smuggling after the 30th April deadline is not going to be deported. We are going to prosecute them and secure conviction so that the deterrence factor is there, you know, for us to curb this menace once and for all.
I have two questions before I open the floor. And the gold board is being presented, in some people's view, as the silver bullet, pardon the silver gold, right? Silver bullet for the sanitizing of the mining sector, and also increasing our revenues. Aren't you putting too much pressure on yourself? So, example again, the Ghana cedi is appreciating very rapidly. We know there are multiple reasons for this, including the Gold for Reserve program and the rest of it. Some of the presidents of US's trade policies have also made people move into commodities away from the US dollar, in addition to the budget that was read. But the narrative suggests that it's the gold board, stupid. That's what's making it happen. Aren't you putting too much pressure on yourself? Gold prices will not keep rising forever. There are other factors in this whole equation. So this is a new organization. Do you feel there's need to pull back a bit to say, look, we're doing great, but this is not just the gold board?
Of course, it's not just the gold board. Okay. Like you rightly said, it's a combination of many factors. But the fact is that the gold board is playing the leading role. And we don't see that as putting pressure on ourselves. We just see that as signifying the enormity of the responsibility we have been entrusted with. And working together with stakeholders in Ghana and partners across the globe, we know that we'll be able to live up to the task we've been entrusted with. And we're counting on the support, like I said, of the World Bank, the OECD, LBMA, to support these sustainability initiatives. Because we need to move away from the talk and now begin to take decisive actions on the ground. Small-scale miners are ready for formalization. They are ready to be trained. They are ready to learn new sustainable mining and, you know, recovery optimization techniques to improve their output and so on. And it behoves on leadership to take these necessary steps. The Gold Board has been set up for this main purpose, and with the support of stakeholders I mentioned, I know that we'll be able to transform the ASM sector and also support the large-scale sector, because most of the large-scale mining companies will tell you that interferences from small-scale miners has been a major challenge for them. And if we can streamline the ASM sector, even large-scale mining will you know, benefit from that. And let me say that for large-scale mining companies, we don't intend to disrupt or destabilize, you know, the market this year. Already you know that about 7 of them are selling 20% of their bullion to the Bank of Ghana for our gold, for our reserves. We've secured a mutual agreement with 9 other mining, large-scale mining firms to also sell 20% of their dowry to the Gold Board locally, which will go into our reserve program. Aside that, we don't intend to disrupt the market. We will, and we are even ready to partner with them to see how they can maximize production, because apart from the Anglo Golds and the Newmonts, most of the large-scale mining companies are producers below optimum levels, and we need to improve that.
Thank you.